foot down.
Oh. Far out.
Oh,
I love EVs.
oh, that is way
Better than
better
their
than their claim. 0 to 100 in seconds. I love it. It's just gorgeous.
Oh, it looks so good.
Just give it a kiss every time I see it. Bro, what the...
That is insane.
What the man?
Hey, Jacob.
Oh, hey, Matt.
What the hell are we driving today?
It's a bloody Porsche Macan Electric.
That's right. This thing is quite controversial, Jacob.
Oh, that's a fancy pronunciation.
Because gone is the Macan petrol.
R.I.P.
RIP, and now you get this, the Porsche Macan Electric.
In my opinion, this is kind of similar to what's happened with the Ford Mustang, because you have so many people that absolutely hate EVs, right?
Probably a lot of Porsche fanboys.
Possibly. And so it's like bringing in the SUV and saying that it's a Mustang. It's like, well, is it? Well, I'm here to tell you that the Macan Electric is actually a genuinely very, very good EV. In fact, it's one of the best driving electric cars I have driven. Considering it's an SUV, that's quite impressive. What else is quite impressive is the price.
Honestly, man, not as high as I would have thought.
Not as high, but it's still expensive. This one here, which is the 4, it's actually second from the bottom. There's a rear-wheel drive, the 4, the 4S, and then the turbo.
Which is kind of weird naming because there's definitely no turbo.
Weird naming, but it's the Porsche naming. Yeah, this one will set you back about $133,000 before on-road costs. And then if you're like this one, or really any other Porsche, it's got about $30,000 worth of options to it as well.
Yeah, we went through the configurator this morning and just got bowled over.
Yeah, so I don't think you need to add on pretty much any of the optional extras this has, but I'll tell you all about that today. So today I'm gonna take you for a full review of the Porsche Macan Electric. What is it like on the exterior, the interior, practicality. We are going to launch it, see just how fast this thing is from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. We will drive it, give it heaps of sauce around Saucy Corner, and of course, end on our final thoughts. Should you buy the Porsche Macan Electric?
Or an Audi SQ6 e-tron.
That's true, because under the skin, they're the same car.
Let's do this.
Okay, so quick recap on price. They start at $128,400 for the rear wheel drive, and then it goes all the way up to $184,400 for the turbo. But of course, you can add on any options you want. A lot of people get upset with that, and they're like, well, why don't you include everything with it? First of all, it's a luxury brand. What do you expect? Second of all, I actually like the fact that you can customize your Porsche however you want.
Yeah, I agree. And you can fully personalize it. You don't have to get features that you don't want.
Exactly.
It's a good way of doing it.
But yeah, it is expensive. There is no doubt about that, but you're buying a luxury car. Honestly, don't know what you would expect otherwise. But of course, that price is inflated because it is an electric vehicle, and battery technology, electric motors, they are just expensive. With that out of the way, let's talk about the way this thing looks, man.
I mean, it looks like an electric Porsche.
Yeah, honestly, it does. It looks like an electric Porsche. That means it's got a bit of a bubbly front end, of course, for maximum aerodynamics. We'll talk about some of the options as we go through. So this paint job here, about $2,700. It's like a nice purple.
And there's like 3 different tiers of paint jobs you can get that go up to like 7 grand.
Yeah, or unless you want to do individual or exclusive, whatever they call it.
$18,000. Yeah.
$18,000, you can get it painted in whatever the hell color you want. You have your Porsche badge there. God, I just give it a kiss every time I see it. You have this huge bumper here. Now, I'm pretty sure this is also an optional extra. I'm not entirely sure of the cost of it. And you have your radar here. You've got aero on the sides too. Yeah, this thing is a very aerodynamic and relatively-ish efficient sports car.
I mean, for the performance, it is.
You have your split headlights here, very bright LEDs there as well. Of course, if you want matrix LEDs, that'll cost you a bit more. You have your 4 daytime running lights here. I love it. It's just gorgeous.
Oh, it looks so good. I love Porsches, bro.
Not to be a shill. Not to be a shill.
I mean, you literally kissed the logo earlier.
You'll see when we drive this thing what they're all about. Let's check out the side.
Let's do it.
All right, coming to the side, yes, the optional extras continue. These 22-inch wheels, they're something like 5 grand with these aero covers. I think they look good, but you'd be very happy riding on the 20s that it comes standard with. They're also wrapped in some really good tires. Goodyear Eagle F1s. These things have plenty of grip, which you need because, yes, this thing does have a lot of power. Electric badge. You can make that whatever color you want. You just got to pay for it. This body-colored mirror, yep, optional extra. 360 camera, not the best 360 camera.
Honestly, it's disappointing actually, and a little bit laggy. That's probably one of my only criticisms of the car.
Yeah, honestly, that's a bit weird. You have keyless entry and go. You've also got this body-colored insert here. Optional extra.
No, I think you can option different colors, and that's what costs money. This is the default.
Hey, it's free. You have very tinted privacy glass here. You've also got roof rails, because it wouldn't be an SUV without that. Oh, also check this out. It's a coupe.
That's not an optional extra.
No.
Can I tell you what is? The privacy glass is actually an optional extra.
Oh, there you go. That probably should be included at this price point. And otherwise, it's a swoopy, coopy EV. It actually looks really good, especially in the flesh.
So good, man.
Even though I'm not really a purple man, you know, and every colorblind person that has looked at this vehicle has said, oh, that's a nice grade. I'm like, well.
You say every colorblind person, it's just me, mate.
No, there's two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's another one.
Another
Monique's
Jacob.
dad. Anyway, it's not, it's purple. If you're colorblind, that'll help you. Let's check out the back.
You know what? If you're colorblind, it looks like the more expensive Nardo Grey.
Hey, that's a life hack. Let's check out the bum. Alrighty, guys, let's talk about the fat tushy.
It's such a blob.
I really love the way that this thing looks, especially from the bum. Yes, it is a slightly compromised car because it is a swoopy coopy, but if you want aerodynamics, you can't have your car shaped like a brick. Let's talk about the taillights, which every manufacturer in this world is copying. I'm looking at you, Leap Motor and Geely. Check this out. Oh, light bar.
That is the OG light bar.
It is the OG light bar. You have your turning signals there as well. Porsche proudly spelt out in 3D, no less.
It looks really cool.
These used to be behind like a glass cover, but no longer.
They're exposed.
Interesting. Macan 4 badge there. Or if you get the turbo, it'll say Macan Turbo.
You know what I would do? I would stick a little U at the end. So it's Macan for you.
Jacob is also the kind of guy to make the Jeep eyes look a bit more aggressive.
I'll put devil horns on my Mazda logo anytime.
Yeah, and also on a Beetle, you have little eyelashes. Jacob's the kind of guy. Down the bottom, you have a very electric looking diffuser. It's actually quite a substantial thing, but otherwise it's relatively simple and I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
One shout out.
Active Aero.
Yeah, deployable spoiler. It does come up above 80 kilometers an hour.
Same technology they use in the F-22 Raptor.
I've heard that they also use it in the C-130 Hercules.
When it's dropping off people.
Let's talk about what it can fit inside of its bum. He didn't take out the gear. Alrighty, let's pretend that didn't happen. Jacob, how much space is in here? I forgot.
540 litres, mate.
Oh, that's pretty good. But if you go for the turbo, you do get a little bit less. Under here, you get a giant Bose subwoofer because this has the $4,000 Bose sound system.
I think it's like $2 and a bit grand.
That's a bargain.
It's a bargain.
But I would still go for the $9,000 Burmester sound system. Personally,
You're a bit of a weirdo.
I'm a bit of a weirdo. You can also just do this and fold down all the seats if the passenger seat wasn't so far back. And then you get a silly amount of room. Also some nets back there too. Yeah, this thing is a weirdly practical SUV despite being quite small, actually.
I would say it's not as practical as some other SUVs of the same size, but it still gets the job done.
The old pat down. Need the key. Need to show you something. Optional extra, we do have a really sick key. Let me show you this. So this key is color matched to the purple of this car, or gray if you are colorblind. And it is a good key because one, it looks like a sick car, but also if you press that, it opens the frunk. The frunk actually has quite a lot of space to it as well. It does have your charging cables in there, which is a good place to have it so it's not in the back. Or you could take that out, leave it at home, and then you have, how many liters of space?
In the Audi it was 64. I would assume it's similar in there.
Let's just say it's 64 liters of boot space, but I'm not entirely sure. In terms of charging, classic German over-engineering, you hold your hand here for a couple of seconds, this
slides away. It's so sci-fi looking.
wouldn't want that to break on you. I can't imagine how much that costs to fix. On this side of the car, you get AC and DC fast charging, because yes, this thing does charge up very, very quick. On the other side, you get AC only. So that's good. It means that when you are at home like myself, my charger is on a weird side of the house. Anyway, it works really well on that side.
270 kilowatt fast charging.
It does have 270 kilowatt of DC fast charging, not quite the Ioniq 5 level, but it is an 800 volt architecture and that is still very fast. And the battery in this thing across the range is a 95 kilowatt hour usable NMC battery. That means that you probably only want to charge it up to about 90%, but it does have that fast charging capability. You can charge it to 100%, but don't do that too often because that will degrade the battery faster, just like your iPhone. Sorry, I assumed your phone, by the way. You know, you could have a Google Pixel like this boy and an iPhone. All right, let's check out the interior.
Let's do it.
Alrighty.
Dude, this is special. Oh, very nice.
Feels nice. Yeah, look, it is a really nice place to be. No doubt though, you are paying for it. Like I said, this thing does have $30,000 or so of options. We will have a full breakdown of everything you get by grade and what this one has specifically in our written review. So just Google CarSauce Macan Electric review. But for now, what I'll tell you is,
it's epic.
It's pretty epic. Let's start with the steering wheel because that's what you touch the most. And frankly, I just caress it the most. It feels so nice to hold it in the hands. It's just like the perfect size. They've nailed it.
Do you like looking at that Porsche logo while you're driving along?
Yeah, I do. Even though I don't own this car, I give it back literally tomorrow. Yeah, I do. I really like it. You got the Porsche crest there, your drive mode selecting. Interesting, there is an off-road mode. It's an SUV, of course.
Of course.
You should take it out to Mount Disappointment.
Take it to Black Duck Reserve.
Why not? You've also got Sport and Sport Plus, but we'll come back to that when we drive it. You have this really cool like industrial design, media controls here, and on the right-hand side you have your digital instrument display controls. Speaking of which, it is a good digital instrument cluster. It is simple, frankly.
It's minimalist.
But it shows you everything that you need to know and nothing more, which is good. Up in front of you, by the way, optional extra. It's like $2,700 and you get this augmented reality heads-up display.
Gives you lots of info. You just punch the mic.
Try to punch the fly.
So Matt,
Fly one.
can you tell me where the heated steering wheel button is?
Oh, no.
It's a secret.
Because it was a secret for me for 4 days. I was like, why are my hands all toasty? Yeah, it's like a completely unmarked button. It's tiny. And it's right here. Once you know, you know, and it's kind of like a secret boys club.
It's a Porsche club.
Yeah, once you get it, you get it. Back to this augmented reality display. I wouldn't option it. It honestly is just, it makes you feel a little bit ill.
It's a bit over the top, isn't it?
The speed, it moves around. You get like a warning if you're too close to the car in front of you, for example, it just follows the car. It's a little bit distracting. It's fine. It's just like $2,700, save you money. Tell you what I wouldn't save you money on.
Chrono pack.
Chrono pack. Get the Sport Chrono pack. You get this clock up here, or this chrono.
A chronometer.
Which does look very cool. Also gives you launch control. If you want to race people at lights, it just gets you 0 to 100 time down quite a bit. So that's kind of nice. And let's talk about the overall quality, because obviously being a Porsche, you'd hope it's high quality, and yeah, it feels high quality. Soft touch materials, absolutely everywhere. Leatherette and soft plastics in everywhere that you touch. Everything feels solid. Feels solid, looks solid, is solid. The seats, let's talk about these. Again, a very, very nice feel to them. They have the optional heated seats. You can get cooled seats, but that's like,
I think it's another couple of grand.
yeah, it's a lot of money, man. So, like I said, if you...
I'd probably get it in Australia.
Yeah, I know, but then you start saying that about all the different packages and suddenly you're at $30,000. So if I'm being totally honest with you, like I said earlier, I would spec this as it comes and just add a better sound system.
But you're a bit of a weirdo. As we've discussed.
I am a bit of a weirdo, okay? But I would say I'm a rational weirdo. But otherwise, the seats feel very, very nice. They are very supportive. $450, you get the Porsche badge embroidered into there, and that's a very nice touch. Also, the same thing for the back seats. As standard, though, you do get this little hidey hole and a wireless phone charger, which is nice. A couple of cup holders and a big storage area. It's impossible to see. In fact, you wouldn't know unless you weren't looking, but you got a 12-volt socket under there and a couple of USB-C fast chargers, so keep that in mind if you own one of these. This is all nice and soft. You open it up and you have enough storage in there. You've also got a pretty large glove box as well. Ooh, felt lined. Let's talk about the display. So on this side, in the center, is your normal infotainment display. It is extremely snappy. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. It works really, really well. And then to the left of that, you have a passenger display. You touch that and it gives you literally the same options. And that's kind of cool. Again, not something that you need, but it actually comes as standard with a car. So that's good.
Very cool.
And you can see things like the cockpit. So if you really want to know how fast your driver is going, you can see it there. But
You also see the G-forces.
you can. My partner would kill me, you know? I'd be like 1 kilometer over and it would be worse than your average Leap Motor C10 at letting you know that you're going a bit fast. So
Would she start beeping?
if only, if only I could de-option this. Love you, Monique. I will say, oh, hang on.
Oh, what's that?
They've left on the bloody screen.
Sounds so good to me right now.
Shut up.
You're now a Prince Porsche.
I feel princely. Really nice interior, man.
And you know what? The seats are like 20-way adjustable or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
You can get very comfy in here.
Yeah.
Shout
Sunroof
out
as well.
That probably sounded terrible. Shout out to the Bose sound system. It's okay. Not quite the Burmester. $9,000. Get that. Let's check out the back seats. Panoramic sunroof. The seats back here, again, a really nice leather. Pull this down, you got a soft center armrest with a couple of very shallow cup holders. So keep that in mind. You wouldn't want to put anything.
Gee whiz, that sounded kind of substantial.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize there was a metal clasp there. Let me do it a bit softer. This has quad zone climate control, optional extra. And you have some air vents there with a couple of USB-C fast chargers, soft touch materials all around though. Now, if you're hoping this is to be a quiet cabin, when you're not moving, it is extremely quiet. They've done a lot of sound insulation, but because of the larger wheels we have on here, the 22-inch wheels, and the licorice thin tires on it, yeah, this thing has quite a lot of road noise when you are driving along. In fact, it's just tire noise.
But you can option acoustically treated glass as well.
I bet you can. Oh, and of course, at 5'11", I have heaps of legroom. Toe room as well is really good. Headroom is good too. And my legs sit at a good angle, which is important because there is a battery underneath the floor. You know what else is underneath the floor?
A dinosaur?
Maybe if you
Just kind of rhymed, I guess.
Yeah, if you go digging, I guess. No, CarSauce buy. That doesn't make sense, but I'll tell you what does. We have thousands of dealers who we make fight each other to get you the best price possible on any new car, at least most of them, in Australia. Best of all, we go in the hardest to get you the best price, and it costs nothing for you. It is a totally free service. We charge the dealers a fixed fee to make sure that we go in the hardest to get you the best price. So if that sounds good to you, and it definitely should, join our thousands of very happy customers. They have heavy
flocked to it.
Yeah, they have heavier wallets as a result of us, and you will too. Just Google CarSauce Buy, and my team will take care of you when you are going out to buy yourself a new car. Daddy Jacob?
Let's bloody launch it.
Sports Chrono, here we come. Alrighty, friend, it's time to launch. That's how I know you're excited. It's time to launch the Porsche Macan Electric 4S.
Yes.
We have the Sports Chrono package, meaning we can put this thing into Sports Plus. What was that, $2,400?
We've also got electric sports sound, $800.
I want to put my spoiler up. No, I'm going to let it do it automatically.
We don't want spoiler. We don't want drag. We want speed.
Fist me, foot down.
Oh, that's launch control. Far out.
Oh,
I love EVs.
this thing feels quick.
Oh my God.
Oh, that is way better than
their
they
claim.
claim. 0 to 100 in 4.97 seconds. What do they claim?
Like 5.2, I think.
There you go. So we beat the claim with 2 people in the car. Lovely.
Very nice.
Let's drive this thing normally.
Let's do it.
All righty.
Roo.
Daddy Jacob.
Porsche time. It's been a while.
Hold my finger.
Oh, God.
I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't expect that. You know, I felt like it maybe.
When you said hold your finger,
like
how was I
I
supposed
thought
to
you'd
hold
hook it or something. You know,
No, I don't.
Not just grab it.
I'm not a hooker, bro.
Yeah, you are.
All right.
Driving the Porsche Macan Electric.
4.
It's a controversial car, man.
Why is it controversial?
It's controversial because Macan regular is dead and they've replaced it with the Macan Electric, which is obviously more expensive. But I don't think it's all that bad.
No, I really don't, especially if you consider the fact that it's based on a whole new platform.
Yeah, in fact, it's essentially a completely new car. They honestly could have named it not the Macan.
Yeah, they could have named it an SQ6. Okay, sorry, that was controversial.
That was controversial. All right, let's talk about what's powering this thing. So you can get it with a bunch of different powertrains. There's a rear-wheel drive, there's this, the 4, there's the 4S, and then there's the turbo. But let's talk about the 4 because that's what we're driving. 2 electric motors, one at the rear, one at the front.
Oh, it's rear-wheel drive bias.
Holy moly, man. It puts out 300 kilowatt of power, 650 newton meters of torque.
That is a lot of torque.
And it is absolutely absurd.
It's so good. And consider the fact that this isn't even the 4S. This is like the value of the bunch.
Yeah, you genuinely do not need any more power than this, but if you really want 1150 newton meters of torque, you can get the turbo.
Yeah.
Let's put this thing into sport mode because this is the differentiator between this and like an Audi SQ6, for example, is that Porsche engineers worked on this and this is a Porsche. As a result, the steering, it's the most direct steering you will ever feel.
In like an EV, for sure.
In an EV. The fact that this thing weighs like over 2 tons and can handle like this is genuinely incredible. We have the adaptive dampers. We don't have the air suspension. You can spend a little bit more and get it, and I probably would, but I have to say, even without it, it is just an incredibly well-handling car.
I mean, this is what you'd come to expect from a Porsche. I know it's their new electric range, but it's no different. It drives so well. The connected feeling on the road is unparalleled. The steering feel is fantastic, particularly if you don't go for that turbo, which does have 4-wheel steering. Oh, you can hear the sound there.
How much was that sound? $800 or something?
I think so, yeah.
If you want to have this fake EV sound, it's $800. Yeah, this is the thing with Porsche. You can spend a stupid amount of money, but you don't need to. Like, you don't need half this stuff. But man, this thing, it's like a race car.
That 4-wheel drive system as well, so good.
And it's not just that it's like fast, because yes, it's fast. By the way, the spoiler is deployed and I have almost zero visibility out the back.
Oh my God.
It's not like the power is that incredible versus any other EV. It's actually just the whole package.
As a driving machine, it's just that good.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Genuinely. And I think the best way to showcase this is here at Saucy Corner.
El Sauso Cornero. Oh, you hooked.
Hola, mi gusta. See, that's what I expected. All right, here we go.
That's for you Spanish bots out there. All right, let's do this.
Fist fist me on this?
We'll do a fist.
We'll do a fist, why not?
Porsche fist.
Here we go.
Oh, far out.
Yeah, again,
Nice.
it's not like it's the most fast EV I've driven, but it's just so well balanced in every way.
So grippy.
All right, hairpin numero uno. Bro,
Whoa.
what the...
That is insane.
What the f***, man?
Bit of rotation around there from the rear-wheel drive bias. Oh my God. That is one of the best driving SUVs, let alone EVs, SUVs up Saucy Corner we've ever driven.
That was incredible.
Whoa.
See, that's what you expect from a Porsche, and that's what you get with a Porsche, I should say. But the only real negative I actually have about this powertrain is got nothing to do with the powertrain. It's the adaptive cruise control stuff. So it gets everything except for one important thing, and that is lane centering. So when you are driving on a highway and you just want to kind of switch off, you kind of can't, you know?
Yeah. So Porsche are like, you want to drive? You're going to drive.
Yeah.
In fact, you're going to drive all the time.
Yeah.
Because even on the freeway where you don't really need to steer, it won't keep you in the center of the lane. It'll kind of bounce you around between the lines. I don't really like that.
And it's so darty that any small movements you make actually do make a big difference to the way that this thing drives. And so, yeah, you do just find yourself getting a little bit more tired than you would expect in a luxury EV when you're just doing something boring like sitting on a highway and you just want to switch off. But you can't do that in this. It's just weird that it doesn't get it at $150,000 before on-road costs with all the options.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It is very strange. And I was recently at the launch of the Audi SQ6 and I actually asked the Audi product managers, why does that car, which is based on the same platform as this, not come with lane centering? And the reasoning they gave is that they couldn't calibrate it properly yet for Australian conditions. That's interesting because there are many other competitors that are able to do it. So I don't know why Volkswagen Group can't.
Speaking of Audi SQ6, how does this compare to that?
I mean, this corner's way better.
Yeah.
I mean, the one I drove had air suspension, so it's a little bit different, but I do like the state of tune of this one. I like the balance. It feels a lot better.
Honestly, it feels perfectly.
And it's more darty. It's nice. So what about efficiency, bro?
Efficiency, they claim that you'll get 617 kilometers on the WLTP.
They're clearly on crack. That's never going to happen. I'm sorry.
No.
Like, you're going to be getting closer to 450, maybe 480 kilometers if you're lucky.
Yeah.
We've been seeing, what, 21, 22 kilowatt hours of usage?
Yeah, and that has been pretty sedate, apart from this very last part, that has been very sedate driving. The best I've seen is 20.4. So that'll get you literally 460 kilometers of range, which, don't get me wrong, for an EV right now is actually very good, but it's because the battery is so big.
Exactly.
That's why.
Yeah, it's a large NMC battery.
It is not an efficient beast,
No.
but it doesn't need to be.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Alrighty, guys.
Oh, man.
Just shut up. Final thoughts on the Porsche Macan Electricity.
Oh, that was a good one.
I really like it, man.
Dude, this car is so epic.
Look, it is a Porsche. I think, as Jacob said, he actually went to the launch literally yesterday for the SQ6. And versus even that, the high-performance SQ6, even though they share the same platform, Porsche engineers work their magic. This does not drive the same as the Audi Q6 or SQ6. It is an absolute weapon. It is so much fun to drive. Do I kind of miss the engine? I gotta be honest, yeah.
I mean, yeah, having an ICE engine is that much better.
It is. It gives you that extra a bit of emotion rather than the $800 package that this has to get that special sound on the outside and inside. But look, overall, I do really like this thing, but I would probably stop at the 4 here. I don't think you need the 4S or any higher. You get everything you need, even in its base spec, except for lane centering or the rear wheel drive. Frankly, those are two really good options. And all I would add is the Burmester sound system.
Definitely, yeah.
I'd spend 10 grand for that, but everything else, I'd leave it the same, wouldn't option anything extra. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Are you gonna go out and buy a Porsche Macan Electric? Do you think it's a good EV? And of course, if you wanna buy any new car in Australia with the best price possible, Google CarSauce buy. My team will take care of you.
Ciao for now.
Ciao.